In this episode, we will discuss the evolution of Shohei Ohtani following his batting slump, and the final start of the first half of the season for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Let's start with the topic of Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers played as the leadoff hitter and designated hitter in the game where Yoshinobu Yamamoto took the mound. Although he was replaced by a pinch hitter after 3 at-bats, he recorded 1 hit in his second at-bat. He displayed a wonderful hit to center field. While his left knee is definitely a concern, he continues to show energy when he is at the plate. This season has been a year where Shohei Ohtani's routines, environment, and the flow of his professional life have changed significantly. We are still in the first half of the season, but since spring, he experienced defeat for the first time since his days with the Angels during the WBC. And he opened the season as the first true two-way player after moving to the Dodgers. While he was active as a pitcher, he fell into a long-term batting slump that he had never experienced in his career as a hitter. I believe this is the first time since he was very young that Shohei Ohtani has experienced such struggles in baseball. He has built his career by piling up successes and failures while enduring rigorous training, becoming a unicorn who has brought us so much joy. Especially as a hitter, he possesses natural batting sense. And I have previously argued on this program that Shohei Ohtani's batting sense is comparable to that of Ichiro Suzuki. That is just how remarkable Shohei Ohtani's batting sense truly is. For Shohei Ohtani to fall into such a long-term batting slump must have come as a surprise not only to fans around the world, but to Shohei Ohtani himself. Because of this long-term batting slump, there was a period this season where he struggled to hit home runs. It took him 53 at-bats to go from his 6th to his 7th home run. I believe this was a painful time for Shohei Ohtani. During these 53 at-bats, I am sure he practiced his hitting intensely. But I don't think Shohei Ohtani has ever had to go through such intense batting practice in the past. He is a two-way player, and I believe he primarily conducted his daily training focused on pitching. However, with this season's long-term batting slump, in addition to his usual pitching training, he must have been practicing his hitting desperately to recover from his slump. This program analyzes that this is what has led to his current knee injury. I believe Shohei Ohtani has learned a great deal from his long-term batting slump. Because he has showcased his batting genius up until now and his batting slumps were never that long. He likely never needed to learn methods for recovering from such a slump. However, having experienced this long-term batting slump this season, I believe he has now mastered the necessary approaches to take when a slump becomes prolonged. As a pitcher, that process was already complete. As a pitcher, rather than relying on natural talent alone, he established his current pitching style through the accumulation of effort. As a hitter, his evaluation from professional scouts since high school was extremely high. And Hideki Kuriyama, who led Samurai Japan to World Championship, said, "Seeing Shohei Ohtani's batting in high school, I knew he would be successful as a professional baseball player." That is how wonderful Shohei Ohtani's batting sense is. That is why he rarely fell into long-term batting slumps in the past. And even when he did, he recovered immediately. But this season, it took a significant amount of time to recover. I believe this will lead to further improvement in his batting. Because he is an elite athlete who can sublimate his hardships into his own talent, I am certain he will showcase performance in the second half that we cannot even imagine. As a pitcher, he continued to display the best pitching this season to the point where we expected him to contend for the Cy Young Award. Currently, due to his knee injury, he is in a situation where he cannot push himself. But we cannot take our eyes off Shohei Ohtani, the two-way player, in the second half of the season. Now, let's turn to the topic of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. On July 12, Japan time, Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Dodgers started on the mound at home against the Diamondbacks. I was paying close attention as it was his final start of the first half of the season. But Yamamoto allowed 6 runs on 5 hits, including 1 home run, in 6 innings, resulting in his 6th loss. For Yoshinobu Yamamoto, this was a very poor result compared to his previous pitching performances. However, considering that he had only allowed 1 run through 6 innings and was keeping the team in the game, I don't think there is much cause for concern regarding Yamamoto. He has allowed runs stemming from walks, so if he can thoroughly eliminate walks, I believe Yoshinobu Yamamoto will be able to demonstrate his genius once again in the second half. Furthermore, the Dodgers' recent performance suggests that the entire team is in a state of exhaustion. We have seen many amateur-level errors, and there are so many mistakes that it hardly seems like a team that has won the World Series. Even an excellent pitcher like Yamamoto makes mistakes. The position players are expected to cover those mistakes with their defense. That is the form required of a team. The battles will only get more intense from the second half onwards. So I strongly hope that the Dodgers will tighten up as a team and prepare for the fierce battles ahead. Back to the topic of Yamamoto. Before the season, there was the WBC, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto participated for Samurai Japan. So I believe he was carrying fatigue when the season began. Even with that, hasn't he pitched well from the opening day until now? After the game, reflecting on the first half of the season, Yamamoto commented the following: "I feel that there have been many more starts where I felt a positive response. At the same time, this first half of the season made me feel strongly about my areas for reflection, adjustments, and challenges, even while feeling my own growth. The recognition that while he feels growth in his pitching during the first half of the season, there are still challenges and room for development, is very typical of Yamamoto. He is still in the process of developing. He will surely show us an even more grown version of himself. The super ace who performed brilliantly during last season and the postseason will likely continue to be active this season as well. While his points for reflection stood out in this game, his pitching throughout the first half of the season was magnificent. I look forward to his pitching in the second half of the season evolving into something even more polished and wonderful." That is all for today. Thank you very much.